We're going to have three speakers today, and Dan Maltrop from WCPN, FM 90.3 on your dial, the founding host of Sound of Ideas that airs weekdays at 9, weekday mornings at 9 a.m., will be our moderator. He joined IdeaStream as a reporter, host, and producer in 2005. At that time, he took over as local anchor of Morning Edition. That gave him an opportunity to cover about just everything in the community. Prior to joining IdeaStream, Dan lived in the San Francisco Bay Area, where he worked on print, television, video projects, including co-authoring Teachers Have It Easy. He and I had a discussion about that. As in my third life or fourth life, I guess what it is, I spent 30 years in the industry. I currently teach at a school not far from here. Teachers don't have it easy. Just ask my wife. We learned the hard way. He also had the big sacrifices and small salaries of America's teachers. He collaborated with Genevieve Caligari and Dave Eggers on that, and that was the New Press, 2005. He holds a master's in journalism from the University of California, Berkeley. Come to the good part for me. Before turning to journalism, Dan taught high school English in a variety of subjects. Not high school English, I think, but he did anyway, at the San Francisco County Jail. He taught high school, real high school, as well as this. He lives on the east side with his wife and two children. Let's welcome Dan Maltrop.
Thank you, Steve, and good morning to all of you. It's a really good thing that we're meeting in this hallway here and there are no windows, because if you could see the view that I see right there through that open door, you'd want to be playing golf as much as I do right now. Anyway, before we get started, I wanted to, as a newsman, I feel compelled to make sure that all of you know this is happening right now. President Bush this morning is undergoing a colonoscopy, and he's transferred powers, we hope temporarily, to Vice President Dick Cheney. I want to give us a moment to pause and reflect. Pray to whoever your God is that this goes well for all concerned. Okay. On behalf of the Northeast Ohio City Council Association, I want to welcome you and thank you very much for joining us today. It looks like we're all sacrificing what's going to be the morning of what's going to be a glorious weekend for this forum, and it's really a great moment in Northeast Ohio. There's a pretty amazing arts festival happening downtown that I'm sure all of you are planning on going to. The Indians are in the running, and they're playing the Bo Sox next week. And we have a regional economy poised for tremendous growth. And it doesn't get much better than this, but it could. It could get a lot better. Now, I know this group has been spending a lot of time exploring regionalism, what it means, as Steve said, both on the marketing level and the operational level, and how those levels are connected. And I know that today's forum is really a part of that conversation, and it really is important when I was just sort of reflecting on it this morning thinking about our position in a globalized world, and Steve's metaphor of the football team is pretty apt, and I would suggest that even at this point, all it needs is for Cleveland and Greater Cleveland and Cuyahoga County and the whole Northeast Ohio, the region of Northeast Ohio, to simply say it's a member of that team and start acting like it's a member of that team, and indeed we will be a member of that team. According to recent studies, the economic impact, direct and indirect spending of airports and air travel in the state of Ohio is $10.5 billion. $10.5 billion. A lot of that is concentrated here in Northeast Ohio. So our time this morning is certainly worthwhile, and I'm sure it will be well spent. But in order for it to be well spent, it's sort of incumbent on all of you to hold our panelists, put their feet to the fire a little bit and get your questions answered. And it's really my job to make sure that your questions get answered today, and that we leave here having learned more than a little bit about the role that each of the airports in Cuyahoga County will play in the future, Hopkins, Burke, and the Cuyahoga County Airport as well. So let me mention who's going to be speaking here today. First, we'll hear from Ricky Smith. He's the Director of Airports for the City of Cleveland. And he's brought with him two of his staffers, is it Bahura Kali or Kali Bahura? Somehow Kali Bahura. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my last name is misspelled.
Oh, so how's it pronounced? So however you spell it, anyway, Khalid is here. Khalid represents Burke Lakefront Airport. He's the sort of Director of Operations here. That's Khalid. And also with Ricky Smith is Steve Nagy. He's the Chief of Planning and Engineering. Steve, good to have you here as well. Ricky Smith will start off, and those two of Ricky's staffers are here to answer your questions later. After we hear from Ricky, we'll hear from Kevin Delaney of the the county airport, and then Kevin Kelly, councilman for the city of Cleveland, who will address us as well. I'm not exactly sure what's on Councilman Kelly's mind, but we'll find out. After their presentations, we'll take a short break for coffee and whatever else you need to do during a short break. That'll be about 5 minutes. And then we'll come back for your questions. And seriously, this is a great opportunity to clear up some of the mysteries about the future, not only about what the future will hold, but about the process that will get us there. So without further ado, I promise we'll be done by noon, and I'll hand you over to Ricky Smith.